In this video, we are going to solve systems using substitution. So taking away the graph, so instead of graphing both lines to find the solution of a system, we can substitute one equation into the other. So that's why you practice doing simple substitution with one equation, because now we're going to bring back a system where we have two to find the solution. So there are 4 steps you're going to want to follow to solve a system using substitution. Your first step is to substitute x or y. Then whichever variable you substituted, the other one's going to be left. So you're going to solve for that variable. And then you'll have one of your variables. Now remember, a solution has an x and a y value. So then whatever one you didn't find here, you're plugging that value in to an original equation to find the other variable you don't know. So at this point you have a solution. You'll have the value for your x and your y. And 4 is kind of optional unless I tell you to on a quiz or test. You can always check the solution. Okay? And remember that has to work in both equations, not just one. So let's see what this looks like. So here x is equal to -2, so we're going to plug that in. So 3 times -2, subtract 12 equals y. So this is -6, subtract 12 is equal to y. So that's -18 is equal to y. So we've substituted, we've solved for the variable that's left. We actually don't have to do 3 right now, because I know y is 18, and because of how they gave me the system, I actually know x is -2, because that's what I said. So this is still one of our more simple substitution ones. We will get into the more complex ones where I don't give you half of your answer. Okay, but to start out, and then of course we could check, which we'll do that a couple times, but I'm not going to do that every time, because then the video will be really long. So give this one a try and write your solution. Here x is 6, so y is equal to 7, subtract 6 plus 9, so 7 subtract 15, so -8. So you don't want to just circle that and have that as your answer, because you would get that wrong. A solution is an ordered pair, so make sure you're writing your answer as an ordered pair. X is equal to 6. Y is equal to -8. Pause the video. This will be our last simple substitution one, and then we'll look at some harder problems. So x is -10, so I'm going to replace x with -10. So that gives me -30. So if I add 30 to both sides, 4y is equal to 36. Y is equal to 9. And that's my solution. Now remember, you can be checking your solution, but we covered that in the last video. Okay, so this is the first one I've given you where y or x does not equal just a number. Y is equal to -4x. But we still know y is equal to this, so I can still replace y with -4x. So x plus -4x is equal to -12. So then when I combine these, this is a 1. So 1 and -4 make -3. Divide by 3. X is equal to 4. So right now I know x is 4. I actually don't know why. This is where we're first going to do our first step 3, where we plug this answer into one of our original equations that I gave you here. So you can plug it in either one. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to choose this first one. So y is equal to negative 4 times x, but I know x is 4. So then y is equal to negative 16. Okay, and to show you, you could have used this other equation for the second part. I could have done 4 plus y is equal to negative 12. Okay, because I replaced x here with 4. So then solving for y, I would subtract 4 to get negative 16. So either equation, you should get negative 16. And to make sure you're plugging it in right and solving, this is where you're really going to want to start checking your answer when you're kind of solving twice. So why don't you pause and try one of these? So y is equal to x plus 2. So that goes in for y. Okay, and I really like to circle what I'm substituting and draw an arrow so that I know that y is equal to this, so I make sure I'm substituting that in for y. So y is equal to x plus 2 plus 3x is equal to 10. Now notice I didn't use parentheses here. Okay, you could, but all of this is just being added, so since it's all addition, you actually don't need them. But be careful when you have addition in your substitution, because a lot of times you do need your parentheses. So now I can combine my like terms. 4x plus 2 is 10. So if I subtract 2 from both sides, 4x is equal to 8. Divide both sides by 4. X is equal to 2. So I've got half of my answer. If you stop here, you're only going to get half your points on the test. All right, so step 3, plug this answer in to one of my equations. So I'm going to pick the first one. So y is equal to 2 plus 2. So y is equal to 4. Okay, we're going to do several practice problems. Okay, they do progressively get harder, so I'm just going to have you try each one. If you get stuck, pause and play the video just a little bit for just the help you need, and then, try to finish it on your own, and then play it when you've fully finished. So give this one a shot. So for this one, there's actually 2 different ways you could substitute, because this says y equals 3x, and this also says y equals x plus 3. So you could take this 3x and substitute it in for y down here, or you could take this x plus 6 and substitute it for y up here. Okay, either way, you actually will end up with the same problem. The only thing different is these would be flip-flopped. Okay. So to solve for x here, we're going to subtract x. Gives me 2x is equal to 6. Divide by 2. X is equal to 3. So here, y is equal to 3 times 3. So y is equal to 9. Okay, I can double check that here too. 3 plus 6 also gives me 9. Pause the video and give this one a try. So this one doesn't say y or x equals. So y is equal to x minus 1. So we're going to plug this in here. Again, this is an example where you don't need the parentheses, but be careful. Sometimes you do. So I have 1x and 2x, so those can combine to 3x because they're on the same side. So plus 1 to both sides, cancels that one out, gives you 9, and x is equal to 3. So plug that in, y is equal to 3, subtract 1, so y is equal to 2. Again, I like to use the one that already says y equals, because then I'm not really solving, I'm just doing a quick calculation, but either one will work. Alright, get into a little bit of harder ones. So pause the video and see what you can do with this one. So notice now we have x equals to all of this. So I have to put all of that in for x. So because x is being multiplied here, when I substitute this in, you're going to want your parentheses. So this becomes 2 times x, and x is all of this. Okay, so 2 times x, then we have subtract 4y is equal to 21. Now y is the only variable I've got left, so that's the one I'm solving for. So first thing would be to distribute 4y, subtract 4, subtract 4y, gives me 21. So I have a 4y and a negative 4y. These both cancel. They're on the same side, a positive 4 and a negative 4. Okay, leaves me with just this negative 4 is equal to 21. So both my variables disappeared. And does negative 4 equal 21? No. So this is an example of a no solution. Okay, that looks similar to when we were solving one equation at a time. So if that happens, there's no solution for y, which means there's no solution for x. Pause the video and give this one a try. Okay, so this is one where, again, there's a couple different ways you could substitute. This is kind of reading backwards, y is equal to 3x. So I could take this 3x and put it in for y down here. Or if you look at this bottom one, y is equal to x subtract 8. And we can put it in for y up here. That's what I'm going to do. But realize, if you did it the other way, this would just be flip-flopped. So I'm going to subtract x. So 2x is equal to negative 8. Divide by 2. X is equal to negative 4. So plug that in here. Negative 4, subtract 8. Y is going to be negative 12. Okay, and again, remember you can be checking those answers. Couple more. Pause and try this one. So I see a y equals here. So 3 subtract y, and y is all of this. So you do need your parentheses here. Okay. Because what's outside this when I have subtraction here? Oh yes, it's a negative 1. So we've got to distribute that in. So 3 subtract 3x. Now I like to change this to a negative also. So then I have a negative times a negative, which is a positive 3. Man, that is a lot of 3s. So keep track of your signs. We have like terms here. So we have 6 subtract 3x is equal to 3x. I'm going to add 3x here. 6 is equal to 6x. Divide by 6. X is equal to 1. So I got x is equal to 1. So plug that back in. I'm going to use this one. So y is equal to 3 times 1, subtract 3. So 3 subtract 3, that is 0. And last problem. Pause and give it a shot. So here I have an x equals. So I'm substituting for x this time. And I do need parentheses. X is being multiplied. So this is 2 times x. X is y plus 5. Plus y is equal to 13. So to solve for y, I got to distribute first. 2y plus 10 plus y is equal to 13. Combine my like terms. Subtract 10. 3y is equal to 3. Y is equal to 1. So realize we solved for y first this time, which means y is our second coordinate. I know we've had a lot of x's, but just the first thing you solve for isn't always your first coordinate. Okay, it's always x comma y. So we just found our y. So now to find our x, either equation works. X is equal to y plus 5. So x is equal to 6.